All right, this is note 7.3. Note 7.3, solving any quadratic equation. Here's the key to these guys, is you want to graph them if they cross the x-axis. Those are my solutions, my zeros. If it does not cross the x-axis, then I have to use quadratic formula. Quadratic formula, we're right at the top of the page here, is minus b in parentheses plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. Okay, now go ahead and write that down so you have it at the top and readily available if you need it. If you need it. If you don't need it, don't go through the steps. So we're going to check beforehand. So in order to check, I have to have these guys in ABC order. So that means my x squared's first, then my x's, then my regular number has to come across so that it equals 0. So 2x squared plus 3x minus 5, because I brought it across, equals 0. We take that. We're going to plug it into y equals in our calculator and look at the picture. If it crosses the x-axis, I just find zeros. I don't have to do the quadratic formula. So I crank up handy dandy, y equals, put in my new equation, which is 2x squared plus 3x minus 5, hit graph, and I see, beautiful, it crosses the x-axis, so I do not have to use the quadratic formula. I am just going to use my 0 function and find this 0, and then find that 0. I'm going to round it to the nearest tenth. Even though it says thousandth on your paper, we're going to go 2 decimal places. Let's go 100. Two decimal places. Hundreds. Okay, so here we go. So second, trace. Number 2 is zeros. Then you take your little spider guide. It says left bound. I want to do this left side first. So I put it on the left side. So my 0 is sitting right about there somewhere. So I want to put my little spider guide on the left side of it, where it says left bound, so it's on the left side. Here's my 0, it's to the left of it. Hit enter. It's going to say put it on the right side now. So I put it on the right side of my 0. So I'm clearly now on the right side. Hit enter. It says guess. Hit enter. And it tells me my 0 is at negative 2.5. So one solution is negative 2.5. So I write that in. And so I'm going to go ahead and sketch it on here. 1, 2, and 0.5 will be about right there. Okay, so that was 3, boom. And then the other one, let's do the other zeros. Second trace, number 2 for zeros. Okay, we go over here, it says left bound, so I'm going to go over here. I put my little spider guy to the left of that 0, hit enter. Now I put it to the right of that 0, hit enter. It says guess, hit enter. And it tells me it's at 1. So my other answer is 1. And then I go over here, put a point. That's my 2 x-intercepts. And then I'm okay with you just rough sketching it. Okay, so if I rough sketch that guy, it kind of goes like this and goes up and over forever and ever. Okay? She hasn't made it yet. Alright. Okay, so that's that one in the books. Moving on to number 2. Alright, number 2, got to put it in ABC order. So I've got to move my 3x across and my negative 7 across. So my new equation is 3x squared minus 3x plus 7 equals 0. Taking that guy, plugging it in. Want to check it first. So when I plug it in, 3x squared minus 3x plus 7. Hit graph. And I see this one does not cross the x-axis. So this is imaginary numbers. So I have to use my quadratic formula, which I know is going to give imaginary numbers. So I'm only going to put in what's underneath the radical. So here we go. We've got to label these guys A, B, and C. So first off, our little rough sketch is kind of like that. Okay, A, B, C. All right, my A is 3, B is negative 3, and C is 7. Okay, so we have A, B, C. Alright, so I take those guys, plugging them into the quadratic formula, so it's minus B, which is a minus 3, plus or minus square root of B squared, so that's minus 3 squared, minus 4 times A, which is 3, times C, which is 7, all over 2 times A, which is 3. Bless you. Now I know it's imaginary, so if I put this into my calculator just like it looks, it's going to give me an error. So I only put this stuff that's underneath. Don't even put the radical, just this stuff underneath. Okay, so this is what we did last week with 7-2. So if I'm just putting that in, it goes into my calculator screen, or my home screen. So go back to my home screen so I can just clear all the other garbage out. And I'm only putting what is underneath the radical, just like it looks. So parentheses, negative 3, close them, squared, minus 4, parentheses 3, close them, open them, parentheses 7, close them, hit enter. And it tells me negative 75. So I'm replacing all of this underneath with negative 75. So I have a minus 3, which makes a positive 3, plus or minus. This is all being replaced underneath with a minus 75. All over 2 times 3 is 6. So now we've got to find the square root of a negative 75. We know because it's negative, it's an imaginary number. So I pull it over to the side. Square root of negative 75. Okay. And to get rid of the negative, I pull it out as an I. And that gets rid of the negative. Now I break this guy down. What multiplies to give me 75? 3 times 25. 25 breaks down to 5 times 5. So I've got a pair of Nike 5s. I bring that out as one single pair. And then there's a 3 left over. It has to go back underneath the radical. Okay? So now I'm replacing this square root of negative 75 with this. So I've got 3 plus or minus 5i square root of 3, which is the replacement for square root of negative 75, all over 6. Last thing is I look and go, can I reduce this? I look at 3, 6, and 5. There is no number that will go into all those evenly to reduce it, so that is my final answer. I would take that, put it up here for my solutions. So the final answer is 3 plus or minus 5i square root of 3 all over 6. Flip it. Number 3. Okay, it's already in ABC order for me. So, move down. So it's already set up, but let's go ahead and put it in and see if I even need to do the quadratic formula. So y equals, clear, negative 3x squared plus 10x minus 5. Okay, we're going to hit graph. And it has zeros. So I don't have to use quadratic formula. I have to find the zeros with my calculator. I've got one here and one there. So here we go. We'll do the first one, which is the left side. So second calc, zeros, number 2. It says left bound, so I go here and right about there is my 0. So let me move it to the left side. So it's clearly to the left of it. If I drew a line up and down, it would be to the left of that 0. Hit enter. It says put it to the right of it. So here we go. I just put it to the right of it. Hit enter. It says guess. Hit enter. And we're rounding to 2 decimal places, so that would be 0.62. 0.61, I lied. 0.61. So one of mine is 0.61. And we have another one. We know we have another one. So I put 0.61. Okay. And now we're going to do the other side. And you, if you want to go ahead and graph it, you can. We know 1 is right there, so a little over halfway. We 0.61, so I boom, put it right there. Okay, next one. Second calc. Find my 0. over to this side. Left bound, so I'm putting it on the left side. Hit enter. Put it on the right side. Hit enter. Guess. And my 0 is 2.72. So 2.72. Okay, so we already went over 1, 2, there's 3, so about right there. 2.72. And this guy opened down, so it kind of went like this. And we know it goes forever and ever in both directions. Would that be a maximum or minimum for my vertex?
Maximum.
It is a maximum, the highest point. Okay, which is what the next one is asking me. It's saying, what is the maximum of this? So it's asking me what my vertex is. It wants us to kind of sketch it. Okay, so we take that, we throw it into the calculator. For number 4, put in y equals. We have negative 2x squared. Any guesses on which way it's going to open, up or down? Any guesses? When I graph it, is it going to open up or open down? If it's a negative, it'll open down because it's a negative 2x squared. And sure enough, it opens down. Okay, so once that maximum, okay, so second, calc, maximum, which is number 4. And we got to put it to the left. There's my maximum right there, so I got to put it to the left of it. Hit enter. Put it to the right of it. Hit enter. Guess. Hit enter. And the maximum is 0.75, comma 2.88. We'll call it that. So this is 0.75 will be the coordinates. So 0.75 and negative 2.87. Nope, 88. I lied. 88. So that would be the coordinates of the vertex. So the maximum point, the highest this thing goes, is which one of these? X or Y? What's my up and down? X's or Y's? Y. So the highest point is Y equals negative 2.88. So that's technically, that is my maximum. Find the x-intercepts, which we know are also called, starts with a Z. Zeros.
Root.
And let's get to, that's the roots. So we take this bad boy, put it in our calculator. Y equals, clear, 2x squared plus 5x minus 7. Hit graph. Okay, once I do that, I have 2 zeros there. I want to find second trace, number 2 for zeros. I want to go find the left first. So left bound, so I'll put it to the left of it, hit enter. Put it to the right of it, hit enter. Guess, hit enter. And it is negative 3.5. So one of my zeros is negative 3.5. Okay, one of my x-intercepts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 3.5 is about right there. Now we go find the other one. Second trace, number 2. Slide it over to the left of this 0. Hit enter. To the right, hit enter. Guess, hit enter. And it's at 1. So, and 1. And so that's right there. And a rough sketch of that guy. Just like that. Okay? So, we are going to do for your work a 7-3. A 7-3. Let's do numbers. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 8. Okay? 1, 3, 5, 7, and 8. That concludes notes for 7-3.
That was last night.